the clay. That's why when we die, our body goes back to there. But our soul, our life, did not come from there. It came from God Himself. That's why when we die, our soul goes back to God. And remember that when Adam and Eve, when they were created, after being created, they were placed in the garden. And remember that God was with them in the garden. They can talk to God, they can see God. They were literally with God, face to face with God. Unfortunately, of course, Adam and Eve sinned against God and they were driven out of the garden. That's why go back to that. Just think about that, my dear brothers and sisters. Therefore, when we were created by God, we were created to be with Him in the garden. That's why when Adam and Eve were driven out of the garden, therefore our life is missing something, which is something very important. And what is that? God. And therefore, when we die, as I said, it is the separation. Of course, science will have a different definition of death, but for us in theology, it's very simple. It's the separation of the body and the soul. The body goes back to the ground while the soul goes back to God. And when the soul goes back to God, he is with God again. Therefore, he attains eternal life, the fullness of life. That's why, as I always say also, it is not surprising that whatever we do in life, we may attain everything that we want in life, but there's always something missing. Man is never contented. Why? Because what is most important is missing, and that is to be face to face with God. Therefore, to attain the fullness of life, there's no other way than death. Through death, we are able to go back to God, and we have the fullness of life because we are again with God. My dear brothers and sisters, as we gather this morning for this Mass, we offer this first of all as a thanksgiving to the Lord for the gift of life He has given to our brother Bernard. And secondly, of course, we beg the Lord that through our prayers and sacrifices, He may forgive Bernard of all the sins he may have committed. And through his death, he may enter the kingdom of heaven, where he will be reunited with his Creator, where he will have the fullness of life. As we gather and continue our celebration, that will be our intention. We will continuously pray for the forgiveness of sins of our brother Bernard, that he may attain the fullness of life with God. Please stand. God, the Almighty Father, raised Christ, His Son, from the dead. With confidence, we ask Him to save His people